what's going on, everybody? Washington football addicts, Washington football fans everywhere. Welcome back. Fifth evening show. I'm here with my boy Phil. What up, Phil?
What up?
Yeah, it's good to be back. We've taken a little hiatus between vacations, personal stuff with everybody. Everyone's got a whole lot going on, work. But we're finally back, bringing a little bit of content tonight. I'll do a quick little show for you guys. So for us, this is episode 80. And we're going to open it up just like we do every night. And Phil, go ahead and take us away. Who's this episode dedicated to?
This episode is dedicated to Roy Jefferson. Roy Jefferson played for our beloved Burgundy and Gold from 1971-1976 as the battery mate at wide receiver, or I should say as the number 2 at wide receiver to the great Charlie Taylor. He originally played in Pittsburgh, was a number 1 in Pittsburgh in the 60s, went to Baltimore for a year, won a Super Bowl there, came to Washington in 71, first season. And remember, he's playing opposite of Charlie Taylor, goes to the Pro Bowl. And he was part of the 1972 NFC champion squad that went to the Super Bowl and nearly knocked off the perfect Dolphins. Had 208 catches throughout his career for 3,119 yards. It's a 15 yards per catch average. He's actually one of I have an uncle who loves him, thought he was a fantastic receiver, talks about him to this day, believes that he was just as good as Charlie Taylor. But Charlie Taylor was a legend. And when you're playing next to a legend, sometimes you get overshadowed in the annals of history. But you got to remember that passing attack we had with either Sonny or Billy throwing the ball, we had targets all over the field. And Roy Jefferson was definitely one of them.
Nice. Yeah, we were talking earlier, our 80s were a little bit of slim pickings.
Yeah.
Had Jamison Crowder stayed, I think it would have been a shoe-in, but you know what?
Yeah, Jamison. I mean, look, here's your 80s for you. Okay, just some names I'll throw out there. You had Lavernius Coles.
Good for a year, came from the Jets. We sent him to the Jets. Did we get him from the Jets? I don't remember.
We got him from the Jets and then sent him back to the Jets after 2 years.
The Moss trade, yeah.
And, of course, Jamison Crowder. The only other one of significance would be tight end Steven Alexander, who was on that 99 team that I love so much. Just a little guy named Desmond Howard, who didn't do anything for us.
The Heisman winner, Michigan's finest.
You won a Heisman?
Michigan's finest. That's right.
Well, I'm a Penn State guy, so.
Yeah, I get it. So there has been a lot happen. Our last episode with Anthony Armstrong was, I want to say a week before camp, 2 weeks before camp. Either way, we've had our first camp down at Richmond. Last weekend in July. I wish I could have been there. We booked our vacation back in January. We had no idea. It is what it is. Hopefully next year I'll try to fence this week off. But I wish I could have been there. But it was great to see all the Washington football content creators out there doing their thing. And our own Phil, our own fan ambassador, our own Washington Football Addicts podcast member, Phil, got to go down there. So, Phil, tell us what it was like. What was the atmosphere like? What days were you there? Who did you see? And just give us an overall rundown of what the environment was looking like.
I was there on Saturday, which was Fan Appreciation Day. And I'm going to say this right off the top. I have been to 4 or 5 camps at this point down in Richmond. This is by far the best that they've done in terms of just the fan experience. Now, someone told me that they capped it at 2,500 people. I don't know if that's true or not. It definitely was not as big a crowd as has been at previous camps. But some of that also may be because they had different areas for people that had tickets. Like I'll say this, I was a fan ambassador. I had a VIP ticket. So I got to go to the VIP tent. And maybe that helped space it out a little bit. But it was definitely, the crowd was enthusiastic. And the atmosphere was just like, it was a party. It really was. People were just happy to be there. just throwing out some names. I got to hang out with Rio Robinson, who's been on our pod before.
Mhm.
I got to hang out with the guys from Ref the District. The Bleeding Burgundy guys, Jesse and Keith, were there. Got to hang out with them as well. And it's interesting because you know some of these people just from a screen name. And it's so weird to get to know them in person, like to interact with them, because sometimes you forget. I was like, oh, you're actually not a bad person to hang out with. Like, I know not everybody likes old Jesse from Bleeding Burgundy. I know there's some people who have some beef with him. And I always kind of got this weird vibe because so many people are on him. And I don't know why, because he was a hell of a nice guy when I met him.
Yeah.
So I think that's good, though, because, I've always said that social media makes people forget that, your humanity towards others. So that was a neat thing, and it really kind of brought us together. And it definitely strengthened that bond that's growing amongst the content creators within the Washington football universe. It's nice to have those bonding moments. Some of them are just there. Some of them are fan ambassadors. Not as many as you think, by the way. And he even saw a former host of this show there, although I didn't get a chance to talk to him. He was there. But anyway, shout out to Ellie.
Shout out to Ellie.
But it was a neat atmosphere. I mean, look, I can go up there. I can sit in the VIP tent, get all the free water and Gatorade and soda I want. Beer was only $5 a bottle. I wish that was the case at FedEx Field. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Not FedEx prices.
Those were not FedEx prices. It was $5.50 a bottle. So I made sure to get 2 at a time. Following Virginia guidelines, I can only carry 2 at once. But it was great. They had the fan appreciation part, which anybody who was still there after practice ended, you can go out on the practice fields, walk around, enjoy yourself. They had a stage set up at one end. They did a trivia contest. If my app had worked for the first 2 questions, I would be holding a helmet signed by the entire team.
Oh, man.
I know it hurt. It hurt because I'm like, come on. Of all people to be having a trivia contest, me. I'm the guy who does the
seriously
on the spot, and the history segments and the way back. And I knew the answers too, but I just couldn't get the damn thing to work right. So that stunk. But it was really cool. It was hosted. Here's an interesting tidbit. The fan appreciation ceremonies afterwards were hosted by a former Washington cheerleader.
Okay.
So that was cool. I saw that. I was like, okay, they're giving these cheerleaders a chance to still be part of the team if they want to. They killed the cheerleading squad. Got to see the new Washington dance team. They need to come up with a better name. The Washington Football Team Entertainment Squad, whatever they call it. It was too wordy. That's, as a fan ambassador, I think I'm going to bring that up. All right, if we're going to have this culture, can we have some catchy names for these people? Because that's way too many words.
The Dubs.
The Dubs. Let me tell you, actually, and it's interesting because if you're not from DC, you don't maybe have the deepest knowledge of DC culture. Everybody knows that, like, if you're out in Cali, a lot of that, a lot of the dancing involves in a lot of that crip walking. If you're up in the Bay, they get hyphy. If you're up in New York, it's, doing the same old two-step. Of course, New York's where a lot of hip-hop culture originated. DC has this weird hybrid of style between your north East Coast cities, like your New York and your Philly, and your down south cities, right? So when I'm watching these dancers, going out there doing their thing, it had a real DC vibe to it. Like, if you've ever been to clubs in DC, you see dudes, you know how these people get down to some go-go. You know how they, all about beating your feet. And that was going on up there. Like, I'm like, okay, you really put a DC vibe into this. I like that. It wasn't generic. It felt like it had some DC flavor. And I remember watching this, and I was like, I'm kind of admiring this, and there's a whole bunch of people around me who also know, and they're like, oh shit, said, this is DC. I said, yeah. Better than we expected. We all thought it was going to be a disaster. We thought it was going to be like, oh no. We all panicked when they said dance team. We're like, great. But if they're going to do it, you got to do it right. And first impression was very good. Of course, we all had the controversy of the band. We had your man Chop Chop on the show. They did bring up. They have a drum line, and the drum line did perform, and that had some serious go feel to it.
Yeah,
as it needed to, and that's also one of those things that I saw, and I was like, all right, and I'll even say this much: they're looking at bringing the band back.
Good. Why was you thinking about it?
No, they're just trying to figure out how to do it in a way that is a little more modernized. So you can do that. But I like the fact that this is a topic of conversation. I'd like to think we helped spur that conversation, because you notice that it became a hot topic on Twitter.
On my post.
Starting with this man right there, Steve.
I just posted an episode. All of a sudden, all hell broke out. I was just supporting a friend.
But here's the thing. People are paying attention out there, guys.
Man.
They're paying attention. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
Eyes and ears are listening to what the fans are debating.
Yeah. Which is good, which is refreshing, because when has that ever been the case?
Never.
It's not since we've been home.
So, and it was a cool experience. I will get to the players in a second. That's what you all really want to hear about.
Yeah.
Who looked good, who didn't. But we got to talk about these other ancillary things too, because these are projectors and predictors of what's going to happen beyond just the football field product.
Right.
Because it's good. They're focusing on that fan experience, the game day experience. I was hyped. I was like, okay, y'all are doing it so much better this time around. So I'm encouraged, and I hope that this continues. It'll make my job as a fan ambassador much easier.
Yeah.
I won't have to get into my usual back and forth with people.
That'd be nice.
Thanks, Steve. Anyway.
For your sake, less stress, lower the blood pressure.
My blood pressure never raises. That's the thing these people got to realize, that when they think I'm getting mad, I'm laughing. I'm sitting behind my phone like, but anyway, so on the field, this team looks good. They look sharp. There's discipline to how they shift between drills. There's not a lot of walking, a lot of jogging. We always like that. That's just those little signs of effort.
Tempo, pace,
yes,
that sort of thing. Yep.
Now, I saw a report that said something about Antonio Gibson splitting out more wide receiver in camp. I can attest to this. I saw this a couple times. I did see a neat little play that Antonio Gibson split out wide, and he ran a draw play to Jared Patterson, and he sliced at the middle for double-digit gain. I saw that and went, that's what I like. I like that. You got these versatile players. Use them. Yeah. Even if you use them as a decoy, use them. Antonio Gibson splits out wide. Defense is going to pay attention. We know he can do it.
Yep.
So I like the tempo. I like some of the creativity I was seeing. Some of the standouts. Kelvin Harmon. Kelvin Harmon is having a camp.
Really?
By all accounts, and it continued. In fact, Kelvin Harmon, I'll say this, I have a bias. I do like Kelvin Harmon. I think he's going to make the roster. I predict he would make the roster.
He looks good off the injury. Looks crisp. Looks clean. Looks.
First of all, you forget how big he is.
Yeah,
he's a tall 6'2". Like he plays bigger than his body. He was running routes for Fitz and Steven Montez after practice.
Yeah.
Like everybody else is in the building. Fitz and Steven Montez, that was just a weird thing too. Fitz and Steven Montez are out there, and Fitz is really just like tips, pointers, giving them that one-on-one attention, which I thought was really cool. And they're having Harmon run routes. So Fitz would here's the thing. Harmon would run a route, Fitz would throw the route. Harmon would run the same route, and then Montez would run the route. after Fitz would kind of go through, okay, you need to do this, this, this. I mean, you couldn't hear what they were saying, but you could tell that's what he was doing. It was like, okay, here's how you do it. Let me tell you some pointers. Now you try.
Right.
It was so cool to see. You always like to see the veterans doing that with the young guys, even if it's a guy who we think is on the bubble.
Okay.
We really don't know if Montez is going to be on the squad this year, but you still like to see that.
Who stood out the most to you of your day there on offense and defense? If you can, if you can even answer that.
Defense, it was definitely Landon Collins.
Really?
Landon Collins looks like Alabama Landon Collins.
Everyone's saying that. They said he's slimmed down. He looks lean. He looks quick. He looks agile. So
everything is, even his reflexes are sharper.
Yeah.
Like he's responding. He's turning. And here's the thing. People are like, oh, Landon picked off Fitz. Oh, and they try to say, oh, that was because of Fitz. I watched that interception. That was Landon. Landon made a great play. It wasn't Fitz through a bad ball.
Yeah.
In fact, that's one thing we'll say. It's on offense. A lot of guys look good to me. Terry looked good. But the guy who I was watching the quarterbacks, Fitz looks good. Fitz is on point. And not just with his arm, but with his legs too.
Yeah.
And Washington put up a nice clip of Fitz running a touchdown. That I was surprisingly. The camera came right past me.
Yeah. Surprisingly mobile. People kind of forget that he can. I'm not saying he's a world beater, but the dude can move. I guess being on those bad teams, he had to adapt somehow.
Well, the thing is that you in this day and age, you don't necessarily need to have a running quarterback. You need to have a quarterback who's mobile.
Yeah,
one that can at least escape
pressure,
the product.
step up. Yeah, exactly.
And Fitz can do that. He does it well. And the other thing that he has over anyone else at quarterback, and that this goes for Heineke, goes for Allen, whoever. He looks like no matter what's happening around him, and all of his years in the league, obviously this is true, he looks like he's seen it before.
Right.
There is no panic to his movements whatsoever. Stands tall, moves, whatever he's doing, it's like, I've done this before. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Even if he's throwing a ball away, he knows what he's doing. There is no panic in this guy whatsoever. Heineke apparently he's had some good days in camp. Mm-hmm. He had a bad day in camp when I was there. And I'll say to that. He had a bad day when I was there. Whenever he's under pressure, at least this day, he looks like he's just like, he gets this like weird thing that like he's trying so hard to think of, I have to do something.
Right.
Instead of sometimes the best thing is to do nothing or to just get rid of the damn ball. But and I think some of that's that pressure that, like, he's got a bandwagon of backers that are really putting fuel under this fire of Heineke should be the starter.
Yeah.
And I think some of that's getting to him because he looks like he's trying just a little too hard. And some of that's inexperience. Yes, he's been in the league, he's in his 5th year now?
I think so.
All right. 4 different teams?
Yep.
Plus the XFL. But he doesn't have a lot of that game experience. And it kind of shows when you see this, especially because we have such a great defense. And look, iron sharpens iron. You're only going to get better playing against the best.
That's it.
Some of that may be just our defense making him look bad, but he looks kind of panicky back there, just a little bit more than I'm comfortable with. But I think I still think he'll make a great backup.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you from an outsider who didn't go, watching everyone on Twitter post their pictures and videos and the beat reporters. I read a lot about a few people. De'Ami Brown had a great camp.
De'Ami Brown is stupid fast. Like
they were just talking about him with all the quarterbacks.
He's like catch your eye fast.
Yeah.
Like you're watching something else and all of a sudden you're like, wait, what was that?
We need that. We had no one since Deshaun Jackson to take that top off.
And that's what he does that so well.
Yeah, it's exciting. And then you heard a lot about, Benjamin St. Just. He's going up against, top corners. William Jackson going against Terry. Of course, Terry just apparently is just Terry. He's looking even
Terry
better
is
than
Terry
last
is
year,
lights out. Like,
which is
you talk
crazy.
about your third year. If you're a
Yeah,
top flight player, your third year is your real breakout.
yeah,
It looks like it. Like Terry physically looks big. He looks
yeah.
better.
That's
He's
awesome. The
but
question is, will they extend him next offseason? It's not something this team does. That'll be the after his third year. They usually wait till these things expire and then they let him go, which I hope they see, have the
you,
fortitude to extend an
you,
offer next season.
your franchise needs superstars. Terry
Yeah,
McLaurin
exactly. And
is
then
on the
so the guy my pick from like 3 episodes ago, we talked about who's going to be your surprise guy to watch this whole year. To me was John Bates. I have not heard one peep about John Bates from the beat reporters. I mean, he's there, but you don't hear anything about John Bates.
Logan Thomas is having a blowout camp too.
Is he? Oh, by
Yeah.
the way, I think Dwayne Haskins just entered the game for the Steelers at Cowboys Hall of Fame game. Go Dwayne. Just came in. Yeah, I mean, I guess he must have got that much burn with Logan. And I did hear Tamara. Not is it Hemingway?
Tamara Hemingway, yeah.
He's still there.
Here's a funny thing. I always like looking at people like because you see these guys on TV, it's one thing. When you see them in person, it's another because you can really kind of evaluate physical traits. First of all, Tamara Hemingway has some value because he's thick enough to play fullback.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
So he can play. He has that H-back versatility that may save him on this roster. Reyes just looks like an athlete, but he's not fluid in any of his motions. Yeah. He doesn't run fluidly. He doesn't run. He rambles. He looks like an old school fullback when he runs. Yeah. Which is kind of endearing to me, but at the same time, it's like
that's probably years of being a big lunky basketball player.
Probably, but
yeah.
Bates, everything I'm hearing from like people who are there saying, Bates looks good. First of all, Bates is a monster.
Right.
Like when you see him in person, like Logan Thomas is tall, and Bates is just like big broing him. It's so unique to see. Like it's just like, and that's another thing. Like seeing people move and seeing people's just physical size. These are things I look at because you always hear about these attributes, but they don't come across on TV so well.
No.
Wes Schweitzer is a fucking hoss, dude. Yeah.
I think we saw that right before camp started when he took those 2 plates and was like,
Yeah, but when you see him in pads, like
even bigger.
There's nothing about him that's graceful. But man, he's surprisingly quick for a guy who's just of a human being. Like he's huge.
Yeah. But this offense doesn't require. It's not like the RPO offense that we, that required those lean, agile linemen that had to be able to pull left and right super fast. I mean, I feel like this offense, well, what we know of it, it just requires a little bit of a hybrid of both.
Samuel Cosme's that guy, though.
Yeah,
that dude's an athlete playing tackle.
Where did they have Cosme playing at?
Right tackle.
Right
and
tackle.
It's funny, right tackle.
Oh, because Sheriff was on the COVID list.
Yeah. Well, Cosme has been kind of projected to be the heir apparent to Morgan Moses, which is interesting, but whatever. I understand it. You got Charles Leno. He's a solid guy back there. Cornelius Lucas played well last year. You want to find spots for your best players, even if they can't be the spot you think they'll be. People said that Cosme was getting abused. I'm like, no, the only guy who was doing any abusing to him was Chase Young.
Yeah, I was saying because he's going against Chase Young. Sorry, I didn't mean to say Sheriff earlier because that's our right guard. Who do they have at right guard in the absence of Sheriff?
Flowers.
Eric Flowers. Okay. Hey, he's good depth. We know he can play. At least 2 years ago, we knew he could play.
Yeah, Flowers was over there. They did some shifting along the line. But I watched Cosme put Smith Williams and Shaka Toney both in the dirt.
Good.
That was like, because the kid's got a bit of a mean streak. I like it.
Hey, you mess with the bull, get the horns, right? He's a UT guy, right?
Yeah. But the cool thing is that he's super quick.
Yeah.
For a tackle, he moves. Like
Yeah.
Trent Williams comes to mind because of just the athleticism.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, he's got that mean streak too.
Who was
So
playing? Who was playing left tackle?
left was Leno.
Leno. Okay, old Bears
Charles Leno
guy.
Jr. was
Okay.
playing left. Cornelius Lucas was playing left on the second string.
Okay. Very cool.
But both lines look good. Here's the one other observation. Chase Young has this weird ability to kind of lull you to sleep watching him until 0.3 seconds before the snap.
Yeah.
Like he kind of just moseys up to the line. Like you really think he's just totally disinterested. And the first time I saw this, I was like, dude, come on, superstar.
Yeah.
Like I just had that moment, that old school fan of get out there and hustle, like in my head. But then like he's kind of just like lazily gets down a 3-point, and then it's like right before the snap.
Bam.
Like you see him just you see him that back stiffen, and you're like, and it's like boom, just the light turns on.
That's right.
I never seen that. Usually guys who play edge rusher, like it's all about the intensity. They come up there ready to just tear someone's ass up. Now Chase Young just kind of like dun, 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 boom. And it's the damnedest thing to watch. Because you don't see that out of an edge rusher.
Yeah.
You see that out of like safeties.
Right. Yeah, that's true. You do.
By the way, all of our defensive backs, like it's weird because this camp has been a lot of receivers making plays on very contested balls. Now, a lot of people would say that, our receivers look great, but let's also keep in mind that means our defensive backs are there on every play,
which is good.
Which is good, and that's something else to keep in mind.
Which means coverage sacks.
Believe me, we're going to see plenty of those. Especially with Jamin Davis. It's fast.
Yeah.
He looks like a track star. Like he doesn't look like a linebacker. He looks like a track star.
I've been hearing different things between him and Cole Holcomb being
Holcomb's looking good too.
So the question is who is Ron gonna trust? Who is Jack gonna trust to be in the middle of that defense calling plays? Who's gonna be the quarterback? I think you gotta defer to Cole unless Jamin just has so much natural ability that you gotta let him shine. I don't know.
I did. Here's the thing. Remember how I predicted that we should go with? We're going to see more 4-2-5 than anything. There was a lot of that.
Okay, so there's two guys in the middle.
Yeah, two guys in the middle, kind of ranging. You really could, and this is where it gets interesting. You could look at a guy like Landon,
and
have him kind of quarterback that defense, because he's up in the box a lot.
Yeah, very true.
He's in a good position to do that. Or you can go with Cole Holcomb. Holcomb looks good, man. Holcomb looks like a linebacker. Like with when you don't see the mullet, you'd swear you're looking at like, to harken back to some of the middle linebackers of the past. Fans my age and a little older, if you remember Kirk Gavea,
54,
swift run stopping backer who could cover. That's Cole Holcomb. That's the first player that came to mind watching him. Kind of short, squatty, looks like a linebacker, can cover. He's swift enough to move to the ball. People forget that was his trait coming out of college. Oh, he's fast.
Yeah.
People forget that now. They think, Jamin Davis is fast. Well, Cole Holcomb's not a slow dude either. So there's a lot to be happy about. By the way, biggest superstar on this team, Tressway.
Yeah, always. Now, he's always the bright spot in the darkness, no matter what happens.
No, I'm just talking about like the way he interacts with people.
Oh yeah,
like in a positive way. Like he's like the superstar, the guy who's always like giving it to the fans. Just no matter what. It's Tress. Tress knows his role. He's like, I'm the all-pro here. So, but it looks good. Hell, even our drafted long snapper didn't look bad.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's right. We got a new one. All right, well, let's go on to a little bit of non-football stuff. Let's talk about the team is at 84% vaccination rate. So that's a change. As of last week, I want to say we were sitting at 70. Was it 70 last week?
And then 60.
To start, I think it was even below 50.
Okay. In July of 2016, on July 16th, 2020, we were below 50%. Okay. We are now, 3 weeks past that? Not even 3 weeks. And we are at 84%.
Right.
Can we put this argument to rest now?
Yeah, I think it's a done deal now. Let's
Done.
be done. Let's be
It's
done.
over.
Yeah. Cheers to that. Let's be done. It's a done deal. They're moving in the right direction. Everyone was frustrated. Clearly, the team did the right thing. They offered vaccinations at the stadium. I mean, at the down at Richmond, multiple times. I think they offered free vaccinations for anybody, not just players, but anyone in the local area wanted to come down, which is also pretty cool. So, just good to know that we're on the up and up. We're trending in the right direction. So hopefully that will be a non-starter, because the last thing we want to do is forfeit a game because of this stupid nonsense. So hopefully that won't happen. Now let's move on to a little more funnier topic. The team banned headdresses and Native American face paint at FedEx Field, they announced 2 days ago. You know, now I'm really pissed off because now I can't wear my headdress or put my paint on my face. Wait a minute. I don't do any of those things at the stadium. And as
Let's be real.
As a prior 12-year season ticket holder, I can honestly say I don't recall, outside of Chief Z, because he always came to visit our section in 214, I never saw one person who wore face paint or Native American headdress in 12 years of going to games. Not one person outside of Chief Z. So there's going to be people mad because, like we talked about yesterday, because now that you said it, people want to rebel, because we're humans. That's what we do. You could have just not said it and it probably would have died. You know,
this is one time, and I do plan on bringing this one up. You're better off letting sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah.
Look, there's enough fans who hate the fact that the name's changing.
Yep.
All right. They're already rebelling enough just in their online, getting out their Twitter trigger fingers and so forth. But no, this is one of those things where you're actively creating a confrontational situation where there didn't need to be one.
Yeah.
So you're going to ban the Native American face paint. You're going to ban headdresses. You're going to ban things that literally, if you had 50,000 people in the stadium wearing burgundy and gold, 2 may have worn it. Right. Now you're courting more, because now you're giving fuel to that fire. Sometimes the best solution is no solution. Just let it go.
Yep.
Because now you're actively sticking it to people who hate this name change is happening. You're now actively sticking another middle finger in their face, as they already feel that they have 1. Now you're giving them 2. And
damn.
And just like that. And I don't think that this is necessary. It really feels like they're doing it. This really feels like, now most of the moves this franchise has done, despite what some minority of people say, have all been very calculated and have been the right decision to make, because it's the right decision to make. This feels like this is one of those brownie point things. They're trying to earn credit with the people who are, oh yes, the old name was racist, blah blah. Now it's like you're trying to turn it up a notch. Say, see, we're taking it one step further. Sometimes the best solution is to do nothing at all. Not all problems, big or small, require a solution.
Yep. Sometimes doing nothing actually is more valuable than doing something. Yes. That's just in life in general. The battles you don't fight can be more valuable than the ones you do fight.
Well, let's put it like this. Look at all the celebrities. Look at the celebrities who have not survived the whole cancel culture thing versus the ones who have.
Yeah.
The ones who have are the ones who ignored it.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't care. This is one of those cases where you plow that in reverse. If the team acts like they don't care, no one's going to actively try to fight them on it.
Yeah.
Because it's not a battle that anyone's aware needs to be fought.
Yeah.
So
But I get both sides. I get why they did it. They really want zero, they're just trying to completely separate. I get it.
After this season, when we pick a new name, it's not going to matter anyway, because if we pick a name that is let's just say this. If we're the Washington Sentinels,
Yes.
because I do like the replacements.
That's I was a Wolves guy, but now I'm a Sentinels guy. That's my Sentinels Wolves. That's where it is. Sentinels Wolves.
Well, your taste is getting better, Steve. Your
Yeah.
taste is getting better.
Shane
Let's drop
Falco.
Wolves
I
down
can't
a
let
few more
Shane Falco
notches.
down. Shane Falco, God bless you, man.
And hey, we got our own washed up journeyman quarterback. Maybe I don't know. Does Fitz have a houseboat? But anyway,
I don't know. Did they turn his Jeep over in the parking lot?
Let's say we pick name Sentinels. Let's pick name. You would look like an idiot showing up in a Native American headdress and face paint if we're the Washington Sentinels. Hell, you look like an idiot if we were the Wolves. As much as I hate that name, if we pick Wolves or Red Wolves, you show up in that, you're not in style with the name, so you just look like an idiot, right?
Yeah.
And we don't need to ban the name, because the rest of the fan base is going to look at you sideways like, bro, it's over.
Yeah.
So I get it while it's WFT, but you're only doing it for one more season, and no one was going to do it anyway, and now they are. So
yeah. Well, the team's doing the right things. They're doing things well. The fan engagement is good, and segue to that is tomorrow night, open practice at FedEx Field, starting at 5 or 5:30. I'm not sure, but it's out there. People, they gave away free tickets. They actually went like hotcakes. I actually tried to get some I had school life, small kids. By the time I was able to get to it, they were all sold out. So, I mean, no harm, no foul. It's still pretty awesome that they're doing it. And it should be interesting that this we'll get to see FedEx Field. I can't wait to see the pictures that come out on Twitter and from the other, everyone just being there. I want to see what the field looks like. They got that new turf, the new grass that they laid. And, just to see what the FedEx, mantra looks like right now, because I, for the most part, most of us don't have great memories of that place, so it's going to be good to see what it looks like. And this is part of the next chapter of being, turning over the new leaf and seeing, just continue to progress in the right way.
I unfortunately get to miss this event because I don't get off work till 5 o'clock tomorrow. For those who don't know, I started a new job 3 weeks ago. I don't have that kind of leave built up yet to just go take off. I'm still in training, so I can't go anywhere. So I had to miss this event, which stinks because they're having a big meetup of all the fan ambassadors in a suite. So I would have been able to really, and they were going to have some of the Taste of DC stuff going on up there and everything else. By the way, those of you who go to games this year, try the food. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be improved.
Yeah. No Johnny Rockets. No Johnny Rockets.
No Johnny Rockets. I don't know if Johnny Rockets are going to be there or not, but there's going to be other options. So if you do like Johnny Rockets, you probably still can get yourself some Johnny Rockets. But anyway, I'm kind of sad I'm going to be missing this. That's why I was doing a little fake tier white. Just for the whole event, and not just getting to hang out in a suite, because that's probably the only time I'll ever hang out in a suite at FedEx, but because of the fact that this is such a unique event. This is such a fan-driven event. We gave away tickets for free to watch practice at FedEx Field. For a lot of people, this may be the only way they can go to FedEx Field.
Yeah.
Can't afford an NFL game.
Yep.
This is, and I like this. We paid money to go to Richmond instead of taking money. We paid money to go to Richmond for a week. We're giving away free tickets. So this ends up being a net loss because you got to turn the lights on. You got to have the facilities going. And you're paying the money to do all that. And yet you're not charging the fans anything to come in.
Yeah.
This is how you reach out. This is how you give back. You do things like this.
Yep.
I cannot applaud the franchise enough for this move. If you're going, take pictures, enjoy it, make it a big deal, people. It is a big
Yeah.
deal. Make it a big deal.
For sure. For sure.
Yes.
So the preseason schedule, just to refresh everyone's memory. So our first game is next week, Thursday night against the Patriots at New England at 7:30 p.m., followed up by the following Friday, the 20th, Cincinnati at home at 8 p.m., followed up by the following Saturday, the 28th, versus the Ravens at 6 p.m. I'm thinking about trying to get tickets for my kids. We'll go together. That might be the game we go to. I don't know if we'll be able to go. Looking at the schedule, they're either it's 1:00 or I don't know. I'm not know if I'm ready to take them to the games yet. But the preseason game at 6:00 might be the one where we might try to go. So we'll see. I'm sure there'll be preseason tickets available, so I'm not too worried about.
And keep in mind, if you go, I mean, I don't think that they're going to have, I think that they're going to roll out a lot of the game day experience at week 1 or week 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you were at camp, you had an opportunity, by the way, on Fan Appreciation Day to buy lower bowl single game tickets for the Chargers game at 30% off.
Man, where was this years ago? Seriously, man.
They are really trying to get the
that's
fans
good.
back in. And they're trying to say, look, we'll take the hit. We want you there. Because in the end, fans in the stadium.
What? We will see how many people are on board when we get a new stadium and we got to pay $10,000 PSL fees. We'll see how many people are still on board. That's a topic for another day.
I'll be a single ticket buyer from then on.
I mean, $10,000 gets you the right to buy the season tickets. Then you got to buy the season tickets. But PSLs, they come with new stadiums. They come to offset the cost of new stadiums. That's a known fact. So just something we need to be prepared for. We haven't been talking about it. Let's focus on right now, but don't lose sight. It's coming. If we can figure out how to make that not happen, great. But that's a
build a smaller stadium.
Yes, get the city to pay for it.
I don't think. Well, here's the thing. This is actually where Dan Snyder's in a decent position with this. He has 6 years, and to utilize the Jason Wrights and so forth in the organization to smooth over the relationships. Now we know Muriel Bowser back in 2019 said, to paraphrase, it's time I can't say the word, even though she did, comes back to DC.
Yeah, I remember that.
Come on, Mayor Bowser. You need to step up to the plate too.
Yeah, that's right.
I know they don't want people on the RFK site, but where else are you going to put this stadium?
Yeah, and the only place to me would be National Harbor, but that's Maryland. But that would be
at least you can see the Capitol from National Harbor.
Yes, and there's just so much more to do down there. But all right, Phil, it's been a great show.
I've been dominating this one.
Yeah, hey, all good, man. All love. You got any shout outs before we wrap it up?
Shout out to Rod. I know his schedule has been insane lately between work and family commitments and everything else going on in his life. He hasn't been able to attend, and that's one of the reasons why we haven't been potting lately. Steve was on vacation too. Dev works. Not for long. Shout out to Dev. But anyway, shout out to Rod. He is the head addict, the lead addict, the pusher man, however you want to refer to him.
Push a T, push a ton.
And shout out to you. Can't wait to have you back on the pod again. And looking forward to the season's upon us. And this is where it gets real fun.
Yeah, it's it's a meme going around. We have football, regardless of where it comes from, starting today all the way until February. Well, till the Super Bowl, till the week before the Super Bowl. That's crazy. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm happy. It's good times.
Especially because the Nats suck now.
Yeah, exactly. Because we have a bunch of minor leaguers. Oh yeah, same shout outs. Shout out to Rod. Wish you could be here, bro. Shout out to Dev, always working. Shout out to everyone who kept us informed, all the other content creators who kept us informed. For those of us who couldn't make it to training camp, via Twitter, YouTube, all your stuff like that.
Oh. That reminds me. Shout out to Rio for going viral twice in a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, first we had him dancing with Jason Wright doing the electric slide to Outstanding, which was fantastic. By the way, Jason Wright, you can tell he's been to some cookouts. You notice he had that plate of food in his hand and he didn't spill a single crumb.
Hey, it takes
doing
skill.
The electric slide.
It takes skill.
And then he went viral because Keith from Clean Burgundy snapped a picture of him. And it just became a caption this contest.
Yeah, I saw it. It's funny. It is funny. Yeah, shout out to all those guys. Appreciate what everyone's doing. Continue to bring the content to everyone like we all try to do. And this has been a good time. And we will reconvene next Thursday. We will be going live in our Facebook group like we always do for every game. And maybe we'll do something at halftime or after the game, talk about this stuff. But we'll see. But we hope to see you there. If you're not in the Facebook group, go ahead and join. You see the link tree up top. You'll see the links at the posted at the bottom of the videos too. So it was great chilling with y'all. And till next time, Phil.
Peace.